Right, it's time now to turn back the clock, and we love to get a legend on the line for you. We've got a true legend for you this week. It is a player I was very privileged to play alongside. It is Alan Smith. Smudger, how are you?
Hello, mate. You okay?
Very well, thank you. Great to have you on the show. You were, of course, commentating on the game yesterday. What did you make of it?
Well, I thought they played as well as they have for a while, Clark, to be honest with you. Yeah. Both going forward, we know they can take any team apart, really, when they're at it, and they were yesterday. But also defensively, I know Stoke didn't offer too much, and that's probably an understatement, but they did what they had to. Mertesacker won quite a few of his individual battles with Peter Crouch, and obviously the Debussy injury disrupted them a little bit, but and Monreal as well for a time when he was getting treatment. But no, they came through it well, and just hope that that might, we've said it a few times, that it might mark the start of a bit more consistency and the absence of those defensive displays when everything seems to go wrong. But no better test than Man City on Sunday. No,
we certainly hope we can find that consistency, Alan. Tell me, what's it like to commentate on Arsenal? I do a bit of commentary here, or co-coms for the club channel, and I'm shamelessly biased. I can let myself go. It's not a problem. But you, of course, have to try and remain neutral when you work for Sky Sports. Is it hard for you to do that, and do you actually enjoy it?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I do get accused by some Arsenal fans of a bit hard on my whole club, and I don't know. I'm just conscious that I need to be fair. I'm commentating both sets of supporters sat at home, and not just the Arsenal one. So I try to tread that line and call things as I see it and be fair. But it's nevertheless, it's still great to see them winning matches, playing well, scoring goals. And I've seen quite a few of those matches down the years. I've seen a few of the ones that haven't been quite so enjoyable, but always a pleasure to go to the Emirates, without question.
Absolutely, yeah. You played in a few decent Arsenal sides down the years as well, Al. What was the best? I know it's a really hard question. Obviously, 89, 91, they were the two title wins, and of course you won a few cups in the early 90s as well. Which was the best side that you played in for the Arsenal?
I think if you go on results, pure and simple, it would be that 1991 title-winning team. We only lost one game at Chelsea that year. The one that won it in '89, we were a younger side, a lot of players in there that hadn't won anything, and it was a very special team. It's bound to feel that way when you win the league for the first time in 18 years and achieve what we did that night at Anfield. But, 2 years down the line, most of us had stayed together. We were a bit more experienced. And as Limpar came into the fold, and, he was a fantastic little player. Cool, yeah. Probably a little bit more mature, and that would explain, our fantastic record that year. But, it was wonderful. Those two championship years obviously stand out as the ones that I enjoyed the most and remember with such fond memories. And then we became more of a cup team after that, but it still held plenty of good memories. Even having said that.
Yeah, not half. Yeah, I was in Copenhagen when you notched the winner against Parma.
There, mate.
Yeah, no, I was I was on the periphery of the squad. Didn't go with the team, but I was in the stands with the fans. Absolutely, what a great night that was. That must have given you such a buzz. Did that goal? That was a corker. Let's be honest, Al, on the volley. Did that goal give you more pleasure than the Anfield little glancer, or not? I know it's a tricky question.
It didn't really. I mean, the little glance at Anfield was as unspectacular, really, as you could get it. But it was so important looking back. Yeah. You've got to score the first goal to get the second one. And I think, it was such a huge occasion that at Anfield. The whole country was watching. Everybody else had finished the fixture. So, to produce on the big occasion like that, it's really satisfying. And of course, the Cup Winners' Cup was a massive occasion as well. And we were the massive underdogs, with Wrighty being out and Martin Keown had failed the fitness test, and it certainly wasn't the strongest team we could have fielded that night. But what we did have was a magnificent back five, who I think were at the peak of the powers. Tony Adams always said that in '94. That's when he thought they were at their best. So, that was the year, really, wasn't it, when 1-0 for the Arsenal came about, getting a goal and you knew you'd win. And it was brilliant for me because it came during a period when I wasn't really enjoying my football. I wasn't scoring my goals as I was a year or two before, and it was a bit of a slog. So it was a great night for me personally, and it was a decent goal. It's quite spectacular by my standards outside the box. So
top draw, Smudge. It was absolutely top draw.
It all came together. Yeah, it all came together, and it was a great night.
Yeah, I got John Cross from the Daily Mirror in the studio with me. He's got a question for you.
Yeah, good, Al. I hope you're well. I just wanted to ask you, Al. I mean, just looking back on that '89 game, I still think it's. I don't know whether you agree, but it's still the most dramatic title finale of all time, isn't it? I know we've seen sort of City win it in sort of 90 plus 4 minutes, but it was first v second, wasn't it? And did you guys feed off the kind of sort of feeling that no one really gave Arsenal a bit of a prayer, as George Graham would say? Did you feed off that siege mentality? And what was that night like? It had just been incredible, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, and we did feed off that kind of attitude that everybody had. We hadn't got much of a chance, and it was kind of a nothing to lose type atmosphere within the squad as we travelled up. There were a few articles in the paper. Never forget Graham Souness doing one, and he said, "Well, Liverpool are by far the better team," and the headline was "Men Against Boys." I've reminded about that since. and you use those things. I think Rocky at the time he pinned it up on the notice board at the training ground, and then we took it up on the coach with us. It just gave us that little bit of an edge, and it was the kind of let's just give it a go, because we've been leaders for so long, and the wheels had come off a little bit as Liverpool pegged us back. So we just thought, well, nobody wins at Anfield, especially by 2 goals. So let's just go for it. And George Graham, he did enjoy his finest hour that night, I think, with the team talks he gave at the hotel and in the dressing room beforehand, and then at half time. He just said, well, the plan is, it is all going according to plan. We've kept that clean sheet, which is the all-important thing. Let's just push on a bit now. Let's get Lee and Nigel bombing up the wing a bit more in support of the front lads, and we'll get the goal. So, just a night. I think we felt back then, Crossy, that we sat back in the dressing room afterwards and, had a sip of champagne, and we felt then that nothing would ever surpass it, because how could anything surpass it? Yeah. Last game of the season, as you say, everybody else had finished. It was a straight shootout. I think, certainly nothing surpassed it for me. And the boys that went on and played under Wenger and won the double, that was special for them, but they probably would tell you, the likes of Lee and Tony and Nigel, that, even that didn't match up to Anfield '89. It was just a privilege to be involved in it.
Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely. And talking of highlights, Smudge, one of the highlights of my very short Arsenal career, unfortunately in the first team, was coming on to make my first appearance in Arsenal colours. And guess who I came on for? It was only
you. Replace me?
Yeah, I did.
What? I must have been having a shock at that day.
I really don't know if you're having a shock. I didn't improve the team. I can tell you that. We went on to lose the game. It was the day John Jensen scored.
QPR.
QPR came on very late. I guess George Graham was trying to G things up. Didn't really work. But yeah, you'll always hold a special place in my heart, Smudge, for that. So I thank you for being very generous. So thanks for coming on as well, mate. Really, really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
We could talk all night, but unfortunately we've got to get back to the callers and get on with the show. But it's been an absolute pleasure, mate.
Yeah, nice to speak to you, Alan.
Yeah, hope to see you soon. Right, bye for now.
All the best.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.